Hi, it's Wendy Hernandez with Command the Courtroom. In this week's video, I want to talk with you about your past. So if you're human, you don't have a perfect past. At some point in your past, you've done something wrong, you've messed up, you've made a mistake, you've lied, whatever. And that's just a part of being a human. But when it comes to a custody case, if it's a really hotly contested case, you can bet that the other side is going to try to bring up whatever the mistakes that you've made in the past to the judge, to try to talk the judge into giving him or her whatever it is that person wants. This isn't unusual. Oftentimes I see during a relationship where a person is really okay with the behaviors of their partner, but all of a sudden when the parties are splitting up or they're getting a divorce, and child custody is an issue, those behaviors that the partner tolerated during the relationship are now suddenly a big deal. The point I want to make to you during this week's video is that whatever it is that you've done in your past, you really have to cop to that if it does come up during your custody case. And by cop to that, I mean you have to own up to it. The thing is because we're all human and we all make mistakes, I don't think a judge is going to expect you to be perfect. And some people are going to have made worse mistakes than other people. Some people's mistakes are just lying to the other party about something. On the other hand, other parties have been in situations where maybe they committed an act of domestic violence against the other party, or maybe they were convicted of a DUI or a drug offense, or maybe they were convicted of some other more serious offense. And the fact is, if that's happened in your case, if that's happened in your past, then you really have to come clean and you have to tell the judge what happened, explain where your head was when that happened. But really, you want to pivot and talk to the judge more about where you are now and what you learned from that experience and how you're going to use that experience to improve the lives of your children and make sure that they don't make the mistakes that you've made. Now, obviously, if you're making these promises to a judge or these avowals to a judge about how you're not going to mess up like you did before, you have to back it up with action. Recently, I was in court on a custody matter, and both of the parties have some different issues going on. But one of the issues that the other party, the mom, has is that she's doing drugs. And the judge, in the course of the hearing, turned to the mother, and it was just an initial status conference, but the judge turned to the mother and said, if I were to order you to get drug tested today, would you test positive for illegal drugs? And the mother was very upset, and of course she started crying, and then she said yes. And in my mind, she did the right thing by saying yes, because if she had said no and then the judge ordered her to test, then she would have proven to be a liar in the judge's eyes, and the judge would have never trusted her about anything again. So she said yes, and of course the judge chastised her a little bit, and that was kind of the end of it. But I want to fast forward 6 weeks later. Mother did not back up what she told the judge that day, which was, I'm not going to do it again. Mother didn't back up her words with action. So we just had a hearing a week ago, and my client suspected that mother was still doing drugs, and we brought it up to the judge, and the judge ordered that mother take a test. And guess what? Mother tested positive for the illegal drugs that she had been doing 6 weeks ago. And this was just a urine test. So what that tells us is that she had been doing the drugs recently. So it remains to be seen what's going to happen. I suspect the judge is going to require mother to continue to test on a random basis. And I wouldn't be surprised if the judge ordered mother to have only supervised visits with the child, or maybe suspended her visits altogether until she gets clean. I don't know what the judge is going to do, but we'll find out. My point is even if you've had a drug issue in your past, if you're making an effort to turn it around and you're backing up your words with actions and showing the judge how you're changing yourself and changing your life because your kids are the most important thing to you, then eventually you're going to be okay. Now, sometimes it takes time for the judge, for you to earn the judge's trust back, and it may be more than just a couple weeks. It may be months. It may be years. But what's important is your kids are going to need you. And so to be a part of their life, you have to take sustained action in the right direction. That means you have to act the right way for quite a period of time until the judge sees that you're ready. And don't give up, because your kids need you. Your kids deserve to have you in their lives. And you really have the responsibility and the obligation to do whatever it takes to be a part of their lives, and you can do it. So my message to you is whatever your past is, please don't be ashamed of it. Own it. Figure out how you've learned from it and how you're going to teach your children to act differently in their own lives, and back up your words with actions. So remember, if you haven't already liked Command the Courtroom on Facebook, go to our page there and like us. Also subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Once a week I put out a video, and if you're subscribed to the channel, you're going to know as soon as that video is posted to the channel. If you haven't already, sign up for my best interest checklist at commandthecourtroom.com. We're getting ready to put a website up there, and there's going to be more free goodies. Until next week, though, remember to keep on trucking and go out there and command the courtroom.